A boy dives into a pool and gracefully swims like a dolphin. Two boys observe him from the platform and compliment his swimming skills. They shift their attention to another boy who is preparing to dive. They recognize him as Matsuka Rin, a transfer student who joined them last week. He dives into the pool and quickly catches up with the other boy. The two boys unconsciously engage in a swimming race. Though both impressive and at almost equal speed, Nanase Haruka reaches the finish line first. After their unexpected race, Rin asks Haru if he's interested in entering a relay with him at the next tournament. Haru replies that he only freestyles. He is not concerned with swimming faster but only wants to feel the water. That was years ago. Haru's a high school student now, and he admits some funky stuff was going through his head back then. His childhood friend Makoto drops by his house so they can go to school together. While on their way, an enthusiastic Makoto prattles on about school, but Haru has swimming on his mind. What else would he be thinking? In class, during the roll call, teacher Amakata Miho mistakes Haru for a girl. Makoto quickly corrects the misunderstanding. Later at lunch, a boy is seen running on the campus. He bumps into a girl named Go, which her female friend calls her. That boy catches up with Haru and Makoto. To their surprise, he's Nagisa, a childhood friend. He tells them he will be studying at Iwatobi High School. They haven't seen Nagisa after the swimming club was shut down since he went to a different school. Nagisa soon learns that Haru quit swimming competitively. Makoto remarks that while he may have done so, Haru can't live without being in the water. During the summer, he swims in the ocean. Meanwhile, Makoto notices Go with her friend having lunch. She looks at him as if he is an acquaintance, although he cannot remember. Moments later, Nagisa informs Haru and Makoto of the forthcoming demolition of the swimming club they went to in grade school. He suggests they visit the place together before that happens. Haru firmly refuses until Makoto hints that there might be a pool. Upon hearing this, Haru is filled with delight. After school, the three hang out at Haru's house. Haru has lived alone since his mom and dad relocated for work. The boys then reconsider their plan to sneak into their old swimming club. Besides seeing it one last time, they plan to dig up a time capsule they buried in its grounds years ago. Their conversation reveals that Rin went to Australia to attend a swimming school to pursue his dream of becoming an Olympic swimmer. They wonder how he's been. That night, the three arrive at the abandoned swimming club. Nagisa sprinkles salt on them as a precautionary measure to ward off evil spirits. However, the perceptive Haru points out that it's not salt but sugar. We can't blame Nagisa though. At a glance, they look the same. Nagisa adds that it's all mental anyway, so sugar will do. Once inside, they find old photos of themselves in the area that used to be the lounge. They place their trophy in a time capsule, swearing to dig it once they've grown up. As the trio explores the place, they run into someone they would never have expected, and it's Rin. Rin has a rather disgusted look on his face. He asks Haru why he's still hanging out with Makoto and Nagisa, saying he hasn't learned. Haru responds by asking Rin if he has learned anything. With an air of confidence, Rin challenges Haru to a race. Haru readily accepts the challenge. The two strip down to their swimwear, ready to get it on, only to find no water in the pool. What a letdown. Their face-off will have to wait. As Rin walks away, he brings out the trophy they buried. He drops it, saying he doesn't need it anymore. It's a bit too much to take for Makoto and Nagisa. They don't understand why Rin gave them the cold shoulder. It's almost as if he loathes them. What could have caused Rin to change this much? The following day, Makoto and Nagisa are still perplexed about Rin's behavior. Haru, on the other hand, doesn't seem to care. Unbeknownst to them, Go once again looks in their direction. Her friend asks her if she knows them. Go mentions their full names and reveals that the boys used to belong to the same swimming club. She notes that they're all boys with girlish names. Who is Go, and what's her relationship with them? She says it's a secret. Guess we'll have to find out. That afternoon, Nagisa and Makoto find themselves reprimanded at the faculty office for trespassing at the old swimming club. Fortunately for Haru, he left earlier. Or was it intentional? You never know with Haru. Anyway, Amakata-sensei somewhat saves the boys with her passionate speech. Right after this, the two search for Rin's name in the shoe lockers. However, they find the locker of Rin's sister, Go. Makoto now remembers who she is. Later that afternoon, Go drops by Haru's house, but he doesn't answer. As she is about to leave, she meets Makoto and Nagisa. They talk for a while, mainly about Rin. Go herself worries about Rin, who hasn't communicated for some time. She reveals that Rin returned last month and is now attending Samizuka Academy. Sometime later, Nagisa and Makoto try to convince Haru to visit Samizuka Academy, the swimming powerhouse, and see Rin. He refuses, but not for long. Makoto activates his spell. Or quite simply, he mentions the word pool. It works instantly, causing Haru's eyes to glimmer with interest. Eventually, the three creep their way into Samizuka Academy. Seriously, what's wrong with these guys? They take a peek at the swimming club's practice when they arrive, but they couldn't find Rin anywhere. Meanwhile, Haru instinctively strips upon the sight of water. Makoto and Nagisa try to calm him down before persuading him to wait until practice ends and everyone's gone. Finally, they have the pool all for themselves. Haru dives right away. He has been itching to do this. Nagisa follows, skinny dipping. He then pulls the hesitant Makoto into the pool, drenching his clothes. The three enjoy their time in the pool. Suddenly, Rin arrives, asking them what they are doing there. "We came here to see you," Nagisa joyfully responds. Unimpressed, Rin tells them to get out. Haru confronts and dares Rin to show him again that side since he's forgotten what he saw. Rin agrees but warns he will be showing him something completely different. Haru and Rin start racing freestyle. Unfortunately, the outcome is not revealed. The next day at school, the trio is back at the faculty office. A teacher reprimands them for trespassing into Samizuka Academy. This time, however, Haru is present. Perhaps his absence the first time was coincidental after all. Once again, Amakata-sensei comes to their defense, but her fish saying rubs the teacher the wrong way. Afterward, Haru takes his leave, leaving the two behind. Go runs into the two and asks them if they've met with Rin. Nagisa recalls what has happened the night before. He explains that they couldn't talk with Rin, as the first thing he did was challenge Haru to a race. Go confesses that she hasn't had a chance to talk to her brother. She sent him messages, but he didn't reply. She had hoped he would open up if he were to meet his old swimming buddies. But as things stand, it's unlikely to happen. Running out of options, Nagisa suggests that they start a swimming club. That way they can see Rin at tournaments. They immediately pitch the idea to Haru. "Whatever, knock yourself out," Haru says. Despite a vague response, they sense Haru's willingness to participate and desire to see Rin. While at Haru's place, Go sees the trophy the 4 won years ago. As they talk, they learn from Go that Rin returns to Japan every year for New Year's. The next day, Nagisa already has the paperwork to start the swimming club. He proposes to make Makoto the captain. Makoto is hesitant to accept the position since Haru is the fastest swimmer among them. Nagisa explains that people excel at different things. For Haru, it is swimming. Secretly, Haru fancies being the captain and ordering members around, but hey, he can't have it all. Nagisa appoints Haru as vice captain and himself as treasurer. They've chosen Ama-chan, or Amakata, as the club advisor, but she initially refuses. With a bit of persuasion and, blackmail, she accepts the role. At Samizuka Academy, Go visits Rin, but he isn't back yet. She goes to the indoor pool to check for him, but a swimming club member tells her that no one named Matsuka is on the team. The next day, Ama-chan tells the trio that their club application was approved, but they would need an additional member to proceed. But wait, there's more. They must restore the dirty and abandoned pool to a usable state. The three get their hands dirty, restoring the neglected pool to its former glory. Aside from cleaning up the pool, the trio tries to recruit more club members to no avail. Go regularly delivers them snacks while they continue restoring the pool. One time, she asks Makoto why they didn't try to start a swim club when they were first years, and he replies that Haru wasn't interested then. Haru joined the swimming club during middle school, but quit at the end of their first year. Their old swimming club was shut down around the same time, and Haru hasn't done any competitive swimming since. Go, on the other hand, reveals that Rin wasn't on the Samizuka swim team. She surmises that Rin might have lost to Haru when they raced and lost hope. It's not the case though, as Rin beat Haru. Makoto points out that Rin didn't seem happy despite winning. Makoto believes Haru is now back to his old self. Go wonders if her brother can do the same. Realizing that the three guys may be able to help his brother return to his former self, Go decides to join the swimming club. She offers to be the team manager if they want her. Go-chan, or Go, offered to join the swim club. Makoto shouts. Upon hearing this, Nagisa beams with excitement and even Haru looks happy. That night, Makoto tells his family the great news. His dad informs him that the swim club he used to go to as a kid is finally being torn down. He visits the place to see it one last time. A man who happens to be there strikes up a conversation with him saying, "Hurts, right? It's not easy to watch as your memories are destroyed." The man asks if he was once a member of that club. Makoto after some time recognizes the man as Coach Sasabe. He introduces himself, and the coach realizes who he is. Coach Sasabe now works part-time as a pizza delivery man. He asks if the other boys are doing well. Makoto says yes, and that he goes to the same school as Haru and Nagisa. Coach Sasabe then asks if they are still friends with Rin, although with a sad look on his face. According to him, Rin looked pretty glum. when he last saw him, so he was a little worried. Coach Sasabe asks, Haruka didn't mention it? Coach Sasabe recalls that Rin and Haru once showed up during the winter. They ran into each other while Rin was back home and raced each other. Haru won easily though, upsetting Rin. Makoto speculates that Haru quit competitive swimming because he hurt Rin. Later, he calls Rin to tell him they're starting a swim club, so he should join the Samizuka swim team. They might get to swim together at a tournament. Unbeknownst to Makoto, Rin has already decided to join their swim team. However, he's not doing it for a chance to swim with his old friends. Finally, the pool restoration is complete. The swim club celebrates its establishment. Haru strips down to his swimsuit while Go fawns over his muscles. He takes a dip, but the others are concerned that the water is too cold. Cold or not, Haru has a special connection with water, so all is well. Sometime after the celebration, Makoto, Haru, and Nagisa hang out in Haru's place. Haru constantly sneezes, believing that someone is talking about him, just like what his late grandma used to say. Nagisa guesses it must be Rin. Makoto's pretty sure he's just sick. After all, he swam in the pool in April. Nagisa tells them that he's heard from Go that Rin joined the Samizuka swim team. Makoto smiles upon hearing this. He looks forward to competing with Rin, but if they want to enter tournaments and swim in relays, they must find one more member. Nagisa ponders about this while on the train. He sees his classmates Ryugazaki reading a book on physical training. He's about to ask him to join the swim club, but before he can, he shuts him down, saying he won't join. He persists that he's already joined the track team. Ryugazaki goes off the train, much to Nagisa's surprise. Nagisa sees him run the last stretch of the route to the school. Haru is already by the school's pool that morning and wants to swim. Go shows the three guys a flyer of a gym with an indoor pool where they can swim for the off-season. Raring to swim, Haru grabs it and asks how they can pay for the sessions. She replies that they'll pay for it with their club budget. Upon consultation with Amachan, they learn that the school isn't going to give that much money to a brand new club with no accomplishments. Harsh, but it makes sense. After all, why shell out on a club without a track record? Amachan supposes that the best way to get money from their club is to have accomplishments, like placing in a summer tournament. The higher-ups may approve their request at the second-term budget review meeting if they do so, but they will need at least 4 swimmers to bolster their case. Haru dashes off to find recruits, but it's unsuccessful. A few moments later, Nagisa spots Ryugazaki and takes another shot. Quite the persistent salesman. Nagisa offers to go home with Ryugazaki, but the latter insists he has practice now, and there's nothing he can say to convince him to join the swim club. A bright idea fills Nagisa's mind. He leads the other members of the swim club to the track practice. He claims it's Ryugazaki's fate to be on the swim team. When asked why, he states that Ryugazaki's race name makes him a perfect candidate. He's the same as them, a guy with a girly name. Go agrees, but we're unsure how Ryugazaki's perfectly carved muscles relate to all this. They watch him practice and notice his perfect form. Makoto thinks he'll make a great diver. That afternoon, Nagisa waits for Ryugazaki, whom he freely calls Ray. Since Nagisa calls him his first name, let's do the same, shall we? Ray doesn't want to join the swim club, saying he's only interested in beautiful sports. He reasons that humans have evolved to be on land. Why go backward and play water sports? It defies reason. I mean, sure Ray, that totally makes sense. The following day, Go announces she has scheduled a joint practice with Samizuka. However, they need to bring 4 members minimum. The following morning, Nagisa runs with Ray on the way to school. He wants him to join the swim club no matter what. When asked why it has to be him, Nagisa replies that he looks beautiful when pole vaulting. Nagisa wants Ray to use theory and calculation to look good at swimming. He adds that Haru is a beautiful swimmer. Yes indeed, in every sense of the word. When they arrive at school, Ray approaches Haru, Makoto, and Nagisa to tell them he's willing to participate in their joint practice as a trial member on one condition: he won't be swimming. Now that's a hefty demand. At the joint practice, Rin shows up briefly, only to retreat to a safe distance. The Iwatobi Swim Club practices with Samizuka's first years. Everything turns out well, except Ray has to swim. We expected this somehow. Despite Nagisa's best efforts to excuse Ray from swimming, there is no way out. Right before he dives, Ray calculates everything like he always does. The whistle blows. Ray's got the perfect swim form. Could it be that he can't actually swim? Despite all his calculations, he couldn't have learned to swim all of a sudden. Haru and Nagisa rushed to the rescue. Afterward, they comfort the embarrassed Ray. He confesses he couldn't swim, but was too proud to admit it earlier. It would go against his sense of beauty. Though in this case, his sense of beauty didn't help. Finally, it's Haru's turn to swim. Observing his every move, Ray is amazed by his beautiful swimming. Haru doesn't use theory, no calculation either. He has something much stronger that others don't. Astonished, Ray asks himself, can I learn to swim like that? In the following days, Nagisa still hasn't given up on Ray. As the swim club observes Ray during one of his practices, he approaches them. He tells Haru, I want to be like you, Nanase-senpai. When asked what he meant by this, he replies that he wants that kind of freedom. Haru says it's not freedom, it's freestyle. Ray bows before them, expressing his desire to join the swim club officially. Haru tells him, if you want to swim, go ahead. And with that, the Iwatobi Swim Club finally has 4 swimmers and a club manager. With such talented and promising swimmers, the future and fan service looks so bright.
How was the video? We hope it was good. If so, please check these videos. Also, please comment down your thoughts and your suggestions for future videos. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing now to show the support to our channel. We hope to see you soon with another video right in this channel. Have a nice day.